about ready to start this, gentlemen?
Yes, we are. All right.
Who wants to do the introductions this week?
Oh, I don't know. I believe I can do it again.
Well, I can do it.
If you like, go ahead.
You know what? I'll go ahead and do it.
Go ahead.
Well, hello, folks. This is DimWit Movie Reviews and More, where we watch the movies, we cook food, we eat it, we drink a little booze, we have a little fun. Right here in the center is our founder of this little dimwit thing, Mr. John
Hi,
Maynard.
everybody.
Then here over to my right, which is my other left, is the man with the can, the man with the plan, Dave. And I am Randy. I'm the founder of Tap It Paranormal, which is sponsoring this. And tonight we're going to be doing the Evil Dead and the new remake of the Evil Dead.
The original versus the remake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we got the shotgun, so in case one of them walks through the door, we can shoot them. We got plenty of shells behind me here.
Yep.
If that all fails, we'll just hide behind John.
Sounds good.
So
as long as you don't turn into one of them.
Then
we're screwed.
I only eat a little bit, I promise.
Oh, okay. So, what do you guys think?
Well, let's start off with the original, since it was the first one.
All right.
What is y'all's opinion on the first movie?
For back in the day, with
1981,
no CGI or any of the technical stuff they got now, because they first started filming it in 1979, wasn't released until 81.
Because it took them that long to get all the money to
film
it. So
I mean, the actors, them poor actors, they went through hell in that movie, making that movie. They came out of there with twisted bones and dislocated ankles and scratches and bruises and concussions because they had no padding or none of the safety equipment they got for today.
Right.
But they loved it, though.
Oh, yeah, they were doing what they loved, of course. So, yeah. I like the original because obviously I had seen the original before I seen the remake. And the original it's horror, but it's also extremely funny.
Oh yeah,
it's hilarious, and the stuff that they went through, the stuff they come up with to do is it's unbelievable. What do you think about it, John?
It is probably, hands down, one of my favorite movies.
I told you, as soon as we start doing this, all the motorcycles going to take off.
Of course. So in the background, there's a bar across the street. Now all the motorcycle people are starting to leave. Nothing against the motorcyclists, but they always pick the most inconvenient time to share their noise.
We couldn't wait much longer to do this, so. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite movies. The original was probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I would sit down and watch this movie, regardless if I've seen it a million times, I would still sit down and watch this movie again.
Oh yeah, it's a good
Likewise with me. And every time I watch it, it's just as good as the previous time.
Right. It always it holds your attention. It's the acting, and it's kind of
a little subpar, but there was some of them. It was their first real acting job. Yeah. So we'll forgive them a little bit for that. But
well, they went through a lot of hell too doing this. I mean, because when he was filming it, they was down in Tennessee with a lot of it, and it was colder and crap down there when they were doing it.
Right. And plus, having to run through the woods, and the one actress, down in her nightgown and not much else.
Yeah, the one that played Cheryl.
Yeah, and
one showed her boob.
Yeah, just the left one.
Just one.
Just the left one. But and they thought that was a little risky for what they were doing, But
yeah, which that is the one that actually signed John's poster here.
One right here in the middle.
So John got his movie poster autographed. So that's pretty cool. We met them at a midnight showing.
Midnight showing, yeah.
Of the Evil Dead, which they need to do that again.
Yeah, I guess that theater went out of business.
Did it? Well, that sucks.
Or the maybe not the theater, but the group that was doing that quit.
Oh, that sucks.
But maybe we ought to do that.
We know what we should start doing midnight showings.
Why shouldn't we?
Yeah, be an idea.
We could do that.
There's enough theaters that are open that late, anyways. I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to check into that. But
I want to do the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I've never seen
it. It's been done too much, I think.
Oh, I love it though. It was great when I went.
I've never seen it.
It's good.
Yeah. I'd check it out. I like the guy that's in it.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. I've never actually seen the whole thing.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry. Hands down, my favorite role that he's in. I know this is a little bit off subject, but
It.
No, I liked him as the It clown, but Legend. I know it's kind of a girly movie, but the big demon guy.
Yeah, he did a good job with that.
He did a phenomenal job with that. But
Sherwood, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Positive.
So what was your favorite part of the original Evil Dead movie? What was your favorite part?
Me?
Either any one of you.
We're coming to get you. When they had her dressed up like the little Keepy doll.
Yeah.
Just the way that she was there, it portrayed it really good.
Right. Yeah.
And basically, and that demon was the only one that really wasn't attacking that much.
Right.
No, it was just taunting.
Just a taunting demon.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Because the demon knew that it was his girlfriend, so he had a real emotional attachment to it.
Yeah.
So just seeing her like that would be enough.
Yeah, of course he got an emotional attachment to her. He gave her that awful looking necklace.
A little monocle magnifying glass thing.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess they did that for something they bought that necklace for something they didn't even use it for, but they still ended up using it for something different. But
yeah, I mean, for me, favorite part of the movie probably is when his buddy's laying there on the couch and he's about half dead, and Ash is sitting there pouring water in his mouth and it's just kind of running out. And Ash is like, "Oh, it's okay, we're gonna get out of here," And at that point, Ash is still kind of like the reluctant hero. He's not really, hasn't really stepped up to take care of anything.
Right.
Which is unfortunate because everybody's dead at that time. If he'd have stepped up a little bit sooner, maybe all of them wouldn't have died.
They probably still would have all died.
Yeah, probably. But he's sitting there pouring that water in his mouth. It's just running out. And that poor guy. He got the worst end of everything. Yeah. Even in the remake, the one that played the remake, even got him in there.
He had the worst scene in the remake.
Hello, David.
For me. It was when he got the needle shoved up underneath his eye.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah. Both these movies have eye things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, they do.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
The second one was worse, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Where the they shoved the thumbs in the eye gouge going and going and
going.
Right
in there.
Yeah, that looked kind of fake and cheesy. Where the guy sits there and grabs the needle and starts pulling it out real slow.
Yeah.
That looked more realistic, but that's the art of CGI.
Okay, so let's
we
go.
We let the eye thing go. John doesn't like eyeballs.
Which brings me to my favorite part.
The eyeballs?
Well, no. You guys torture me the way you are. In the original, my favorite part is when Ash is like, "What are you always gonna be torturing me like this for?" And he starts to spiral down.
Yeah. He starts going a little nuts.
Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Okay. Now with the remake, what'd y'all think of the remake?
It was okay. It was good, but not as good as the original.
It was a very well-made movie, I thought, but it's not the Evil Dead that I was used to.
Now, is it more of like the Evil Dead that you think they would have made had they had the money and technology to make?
Back in the day?
Back in the day?
No, I still don't think they would have done it that way back then.
I don't know, because I read or I heard an interview or something with Sam Raimi, and he was saying that this was the Evil Dead that he had envisioned when they made the first one. I don't know how true that is, but...
he's lying.
He might be. But
This one just made more money. That's all.
Right. This one probably made quite a bit of money. But my biggest complaint about the remake is where they changed the characters and they gender swapped the main character. For me, I don't like that when they do that in movies.
I was telling you before. I think they did that because when they first come up with the idea of remaking The Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell, the guy that played Ash, he was not on board with it. He didn't want to see somebody else playing Ash. He thought he was the only one that could play Ash.
Yeah, and then when he he embodies that character.
And when he found out that, they're not going to bring Ash into it, they're going to change the story around, he was okay with it. He was all for it.
Right.
So.
Which I'm all right with that. I understand that. It's just that, I don't know. I think they should have not necessarily promoted it the way that they did for doing it.
Yeah.
For making the movie the way that they did.
Right. I think the remake it's a solid movie. It's a solid horror movie.
Right.
It's got all the aspects that you need in a horror movie. It holds your attention. You root for a character to make it through, to be the hero. And I had seen the movie once before. I actually bought the movie, watched it, just because it was the remake. I had watched it. It was great. Then when we decided we were going to do this review, I watched it again. I'm like, man, how come I have not watched this movie again? Because it actually is I think it's a pretty good movie. It's well written. Right. It's well acted. I think it's a pretty solid movie. Is it better than the original?
No.
No. It's different than the original. They're two separate movies. They're definitely two different movies.
As long as you watch them as two separate movies instead of thinking, well, they're both Evil Dead, then you're gonna be really pleased with both movies.
Yeah. That's what makes the difference.
And the Evil Dead is more of a serious, as much as it could have been, the original is more of a serious horror movie, as much as it could have been. Then you get into the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, and it's more slapstick kind of comedy, one-liners type thing.
That's what makes the Evil Dead the Evil Dead.
Right.
And a little bit of that comes out in the original, but not as much because they were trying to go more serious.
Yeah.
Which the original movie, the original Evil Dead, was considered back in the day to be was it a video nasty or a movie? I can't remember if it was movie nasty or video nasty. It's what they used to call the horror movies back in. And when they got that title as video nasty, a lot of people wouldn't go see it because it was going to be, they knew it was going to be some kind of a gore fest or something or other.
Right.
And because of that, I guess there's a couple countries where it's still banned.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I was watching an interview with Bruce Campbell when Ash vs. the Evil Dead came out. He was talking about that. I can't remember if it was for season 1 or season 2 of it, but it might have been season 3. I don't remember. But he said that they, right around in that area, when Ash vs. the Evil Dead was airing, they had just taken it off of the banned list in Germany.
Oh, wow. So
that was only a couple years ago.
Right.
And Ash vs. the Evil Dead, if you guys get a chance to check that out, that is awesome. That TV show series
is
just
like the original. Where Army of Darkness left off.
Yeah.
Just 30 years later.
Right. And it's I would highly recommend that.
I would too, absolutely.
Now, for me, in the original Evil Dead, the worst acting I've seen in it is when they're driving down the road in the car very beginning of the movie, before they even get there, and they got that other truck coming the other direction, and they kind of like the car gets possessed or whatever, and they're trying to swerve around that truck, and you got that one girl going, ah!
Out the window.
Up against the window. Not even out the window, just up against the window.
That was pretty bad.
That was bad.
that was bad acting.
I'm like, really? Okay.
So was Party On. That part of
Yeah.
it, that was
And that
pretty
was
bad.
all ad-libbed.
Yeah.
So that was just them trying to make a scene there. I guess when they're all sitting around after they pulled the recorder up out of the basement and they're all sitting around listening to it, originally they were supposed to be smoking weed when they're doing it. So they come up with the idea to, hey, okay, let's all just try to smoke weed and film this. So they did.
Didn't work out.
It
too
did
good
not
for
work
them.
out. They had to
because everybody
refilm
forgot
it
everything.
Yeah, I
because
guess
it was.
at least one or two of them or whatever.
Yeah, they had never done it before.
Yeah, and they were just like completely off their, stoned out of their mind
Right.
or whatever, to where they couldn't concentrate on anything. So
yeah. And also, Bruce Campbell, he took out a second mortgage on his parents' property in Michigan to get them enough money to film on the high 8 or whatever the film that they needed to film on.
the 16 millimeter.
They did
16 millimeter.
Well, they did 16 and 8 both.
Yeah.
Whatever they needed to get it in theaters. He refinanced his parents' home, in order to give him money to do that. So that's how much he believed in the movie.
Right.
Which Bruce Campbell,
Sam Raimi,
and what's the other one?
Robert Tappert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all grew up together. They went to school
so
together.
Did Cheryl.
And Cheryl,
the
girl
one that played Cheryl. Ellen Sandweiss, I think's her name.
Yeah, they all grew up together, so they had been making high 8 movies for a while.
You know who else went to school with Bruce Campbell?
Who's that?
James Cameron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with him yesterday, and he said, if I ever need to get like a producer or something, or I need to get a hold and get in Hollywood or whatever, and get something pushed through, I just call him, and if I can't get through to him, his name was something Shemp. And he said, just tell him that James Cameron and Shemp whatever is calling, and they put it right through.
Huh.
So if you ever want to get a hold of James Cameron, he said it'll probably only work once for you, but that's how you do it.
Yep, because they called them Shemps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the remake, the guy, the one guy, the voice of reason out of all that, is the one that gets beat up the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that had the thing in his eye and gets his hand busted with a crowbar and shot with a nail gun and
stabbed in the chest with a piece of broken mirror.
Yeah. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, he just gets the shit knocked out of him.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
Poor guy. He was probably my favorite actor in the remake. He's like, yeah, haven't you noticed since we've got here, nothing has been okay. As a matter of fact, it's gotten worse every moment since we've gotten here.
Yeah.
Captain Obvious there.
Right. No, I thought the girl they got to play the main character did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, she did. And she went through a lot of hard times filming that movie too.
Yeah, I guess there was one part during the filming of it where she was missing her marks, and she said it was cold. She had fake blood and mud and everything running down her face. And one of the cameramen yelled at her, "Hey man, you're missing your marks." She goes, "I can't see anything. Just leave me alone." And then she went off and cried for a bit, and came back and told him she was sorry. But
yeah, you get all that crap in your eyes, you'd be miserable trying to act.
I'd be miserable anyways. It's miserable thinking about it.
Right?
So what do you think which one would be better, the remake or the original?
Original.
If you had your pick.
It all depend on what kind of movie you want.
Okay.
If you want a typical big budget Hollywood horror movie, you want the original.
Yeah.
Or not the original, but the remake.
The remake, yeah.
If you want something that's a little bit more interesting, you might not want to watch when you're like tripping on acid or something, because it's gonna like ruin your whole day. You want the original.
Yeah, Yeah, I
I would
can
have
see
liked to
that.
been there when they was smoking the pot, though, seeing how they
Oh,
act.
that would have been so funny.
That should have been in the blooper reel,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
No.
They didn't have. Matter of fact, they didn't have a blooper.
Mm-mm.
They probably didn't create a blooper reel with that for the simple fact is that they know they
The
probably,
whole movie's the blooper reel.
Why? Yeah,
oh,
true.
yeah. Which just makes it funny.
Yeah.
So, if you guys hadn't noticed, we're doing this in a red hue. The blood dripping down the screen, the
Which was
projector.
suggested that they did do that because of one of the theater owners that wanted to play the movie or something like that.
Yeah, so keep the blood running down the screen. Keep the blood, or something like that. They said.
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided to do this in a red light today. So hopefully y'all enjoy it, and it's something a little bit different.
Honestly, we're not like set up in the red light district, so.
Speak for yourself. As soon as I walk out the door, I'm gonna go make $50 tricking on that corner of the street.
That's all you get?
Yeah, I'm cheap.
I must be charging too much.
But just trying to get past this here. And
Don't let him lie to you. He makes more than both of us put together.
well, you charge for quality, not quantity.
I guess.
That's about all they get is quality.
Quantity?
Yeah, they ain't getting the quantity.
Yeah. No, I can't deliver either.
But John, he did the catering for tonight. And John, you can tell him what you made.
Made some sloppy Joe sloppy Joe hot dog mix thing, and some
Which was really good.
some potato salad. Which anybody that knows me knows I love potatoes, don't matter what kind they are. And some.
And a Book of the Dead brownie.
Exactly. Which was
Evil
kinda
Dead
tasty.
brownies, which were really good.
And needs a little bit of perfecting. It was the first time I did those, but
Actually, no, I like them when they're crispy like that too.
Yeah.
well, yeah, crispy. That's I just needed some.
I think they were really good.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way, for that. Next
Right
time
there.
they'll be better.
Well, I don't think you can improve on it too much.
Yeah. I know it's hard to improve on this much perfection, but
So is there
What can I
anything
say?
else you guys like to say about the Evil Dead other than
Any
you love
bloopers
it, or?
you seen?
Oh, there's a ton of them.
I mean,
yeah.
my favorite blooper, and I seen it, I counted it, it was 7 times, was the Matted Moon.
Yeah.
yeah,
He,
in the original.
in the original, they
Yeah.
they clean that up in the when you stream it online, so you can't see it as well.
Right.
But if you buy the DVD, you can see it, and it's
Yeah,
the
it's
full moon that's up
blatantly
there,
obvious.
and it's a big square that's around the full moon. Yeah, it's up there. Let's see what other was the bloopers. When they first pull onto the bridge, you can see a car
the
driving down the
original.
road right in behind them as they pull onto the bridge. In the original, in the original, that's all where I know all the bloopers are. And as they pull onto the bridge, if you have the original DVD, when they pull up onto the bridge, you see some guy standing in the weeds there.
Which is the producer, Robert Tapper.
Yeah, but they digitally removed him in the when you stream it online, so he's not there then.
If you want to hear something kind of funny about that, I was watching an interview when season 1 was getting ready to release of the Ash vs. the Evil Dead. They had Sam Raimi and Tapper and Bruce Campbell and Lucy Lawless and the other 2 actors from the TV show.
Mhm.
And Bruce Campbell was going on about, yeah, and we're not gonna be like, George Lucas and this other, guy and this guy. We're not gonna like re-release everything where we fix all our mistakes. And Sam Raimi leans up and goes, "We already did that, Bruce." He goes, "Fine," or something like that. It was really funny.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
What's the cheesiest part you think of the first one?
Oh, the first one?
Yes. To me, it's the claymation scene.
Yeah, I could have, yeah.
I mean, it turned out it was doing all right until they got to that hokey looking face.
Right.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. That's yeah.
That was probably the cheesiest part in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I mean, you got the book doing the same thing with the claymation, with a tongue coming out of it.
Licking his eye and
the little worms and stuff. Yeah.
Now, in the second one, though, I really didn't catch too many bloopers.
No, you got to look a lot harder for them.
They had a lot bigger budget for the second one.
Right.
There was more like shadows of like a cameraman in a shot or a boom mic in a shot, reflection in the window or something like that. But the original, they didn't have
just chock full of them.
Yeah, they didn't have the money or the budget to.
Because like when Ash's girlfriend falls backwards on the knife, then he's dragging her across the floor, but you don't see him pull a knife out, and there's hardly any blood on her front. It's like, okay.
Yeah. When they bust through the door and they're grabbing a hold of them.
Right, then on the outside you can see the chainsaw mark.
Yeah, well, it's busted through the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It's busted out of the door instead of through the door.
Yeah.
And when he's over there with his hands in there grabbing them, if you look, you can see tears in the gloves that the guy had on. You can actually see the hands.
There's a few places that you can see that.
Yeah.
And like the two holes in the door where they reach through the main door going into the cabin, you can see they're cut out instead of actually punched through.
Yep. There goes another motorcycle. Yay.
But that's what made that movie unique.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the same movie if it didn't have stuff like that. Like the sound as they were coming across the rafters. The woo, woo, woo. There's no reason for that sound to be there.
But it's there. Yeah. And it's great.
Yeah. And I think a lot of filmmakers today try to duplicate what they did back then.
Right.
You know, the different camera angles and different stuff like that. Which wasn't really done.
Sideways shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which wasn't really done, and then they did it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well that's kind of cool." So
and some of those sideways shots was straight up Sam Raimi said, "We're going to film it this way," and that's just the way we're doing it.
Yeah, like the scene where the car's sitting straight, but when Ash gets out of the car, he's walking sideways like this.
Because he's on an embankment like that.
That's because they turned the camera sideways so everything was straight till he got out.
Right.
And
so,
but
John's lost. You got a brain fart.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think the original Evil Dead, for people starting out and trying to make movies, it gives them hope because all those guys are like superstars now.
Yeah.
You know, you can't talk about horror movies without,
they definitely have a big following.
Right.
I mean,
Evil Dead's got a big following.
Yeah.
And even the people that have never seen it know what Evil Dead is.
Well, sure.
I mean, come on, it's even spawned a musical.
Yeah.
Like a Broadway musical kind of deal. I don't think it was ever on Broadway, but
it's got 2 sequels, a TV show, a remake, and a musical.
Right, and a whole slew of comics.
Yeah. So.
True.
You gotta love that. And
action figures to boot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many other horror movies have action figures?
A few of them.
Yeah.
Very few.
Right.
I mean, I know it does.
It does.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The more popular
Freddy
ones,
and Jason. And,
Halloween.
Yeah. But as far as like a low budget, independent horror movie like Evil Dead, none of them do. Just Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they did that, they busted their butt to get that done. And they did a good job. I mean, they really broke some ground and
literally.
Yeah. And
definitely. I very much respect them for all that they did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, between the actors going through all the hell they did and all the almost stuff that could have really hurt them medically.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to an interview with Bruce Campbell, and he goes, a lot of the stuff that we did in those early days, like throwing ourselves into walls and bookshelves and everything fall on them. He goes, that's why my back goes out every 5 minutes now. He said, but back in, it was paying for our craft.
Oh yeah, just
There
like
was
the scene where he's going down the basement steps. There's only one thing on the steps, and he steps on it. And then and I think it's the same interview I watched, is when he's like, yeah, he goes, they told me to fall down the steps. He goes, yeah, there ain't nothing like falling down the steps on your ass and then running your elbow across hard
Oh,
rocks.
yeah. Yeah, it was the same one I watched.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so let's original Evil Dead. What would you rate it? 1 to 10. 10 being the best.
8.
You got an 8. What do you think?
I almost hate to do this, but the first thing I thought of when you said that was 10.
Okay.
I hate to give it a 10 because of how cheesy it is, but it is probably hands down one of my favorite movies of all times. So.
I would say about 8.5. That's what I'd go with that one.
But as far as action, if you're rating a movie for the pure fact of rating a movie being biased, I'd probably give it a lower rating.
Well, we're not asking you to be biased. We're asking for your opinion.
Yeah, your honest opinion, how you feel.
We're not professionals, John.
Yeah.
We still don't know what the hell
that
we're
red
doing.
light goes on.
Oh, good Lord, it's time to leave.
But the bar people, some of the bar girls should be coming over.
So the new movie, how would you rate the new movie?
The new movie, I liked it, but not as much as the original. So I'd give it a 7.25.
Yeah, I would give it a 7 too.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I'd say right around the 7.5.
To do it separately, like John was saying earlier, as far as like the way they were presented with the technology and stuff and the way they were done, I would go with the newer one, give it a little bit higher rating.
Yeah,
I would give it an 8, but I would give the old one a 7. But as far as the acting wise and the way they did it, the original, it's got the higher score.
Let me ask you guys this: if you guys had never seen the original before you saw the remake, and you saw the original one after the remake, which one would you guys like better?
I'd still like the original one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been unchanged. Yeah. I'd been the same way.
Sounds good. I was just kind of curious.
So if you were sitting there, come late at night and bored out of your mind, nothing to do, and you got both the movies sitting there, the remake or the original?
The original.
Which one are you putting in the watch?
Original, hands down.
John does Dallas.
Yeah. Twice.
Wow. Oh, okay.
I put the original one in.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's really no question there.
But then, sad thing is, I know it'd still be awake, so I put the second one in there too.
You'd watch the original first and then the second one. Yeah, that's
no matter what, it would always be the original.
Kind of like what we did the other night. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I have all all 4 of them, so I might just stick with
just go
1, 2, and Army of Darkness.
You can do that. All right. Well,
1, 2, 3.
I think we pretty much well covered it. We're right about our time limit. We'll kick the lights on here, and we'll
kick lights on. I don't want to kick it. My leg ain't gonna reach that high.
Jump
Mine
high.
might.
We'll do
I'm pretty flexible for
the
a big
wheel
guy.
of death.
Doom.
I mean the wheel of movies.
Wheel.
And we're going to the big wheel of movies.
All right, I'm gonna move you guys around here. Woo-hoo.
Let's get this up here a little higher.
Evil Dead thing going on here.
Okay, so who's doing it
I got
today?
Randy's
Sorry.
butt there. Hey,
that's your ass that was on my hand.
You bought it.
That's his best view.
All right, I will blow it this time. Maybe.
Oh baby.
What the hell? Got the boys down here playing with stuff. All right.
He's gonna spin the big wheel.
Randy, you gonna spin it?
While Dave blows his dart.
Oh man! Woohoo!
That sounds kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
3,
give her a turn.
2, 1. And
What do we land on?
Young Frankenstein, my
Young
movie.
Frankenstein is going to be the next
Wow.
movie. Another one of Randy's movies.
Every time we use the wheel, what'd you do? Put it like a thing on that, so every time we use that, it gets your movies?
Hey, it's just they're good movies though.
Yeah.
It's the way the wheel spins.
All right, so Young Frankenstein in 2 weeks.
Yep.
We will be doing Young Frankenstein, a Mel Brooks movie. Love that movie. I could probably recite it from front to back.
Ooh, what knockers? Oh, well, thank you.
So, hey, thanks for watching.
Yep,
Really
and
appreciate it.
just remember when Young Frankenstein comes on, we got to walk this way.
Igor.
It is way.
It's pronounced Igor. Good night, folks. Have a good one.